What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. This question can be answered in three distinctive ways, and all these three distinctive ways are all directed or otherwise reliant on one basic element. Why are you doing it? Or why don't you do it? And this is an element of reducing population, the childbirth issue. And it has become a very big problem in the society today, where population growth is slowing down at a tremendous rate, especially regarding the birth rate. And this can be seen in most successful or upper class countries like United States, Canada, Japan, and across Europe, where the old people are occupying the majority of the landmass, and the young people becoming lesser and lesser, especially the newborns. And when these people are asked, why did this happen, they tend not to find an answer. The biggest question is, who is held accountable for the reasons that these people give relative to the essence that childbirth is now a problem? There was once a time I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's been in the US for a couple of times, if not a lot of times. He was, studying at the University of Chicago. He was doing his master's in psychology and some stuff of that sort, and he told me there is this picture that was seen in Detroit, where there are very beautiful houses, complete apartments that possibly people like me and you in our young age had put our investments on, that they would help us when we grow older. But unfortunately, because there was a lack of the population to replenish and make sure that these investments remain viable, the real estate died. And when you go all over the internet, people like Grant Cardone will be like, real estate, real estate, real estate. There is one thing that they don't talk about, that real estate is reliant on one factor, that people multiply, and this is something that is being stopped at a very high rate. And remember that people like Bill Gates have put it out there all clear in the press everywhere that they are trying to reduce the world population, and they do it in all manners of facts. Let me give you for example. Look at the healthcare system. Right now we are living in an era where the healthcare system is the best of all time. There is no single time in the history of mankind whereby any problem you have can be treated by some form of medicine. However, people are still dying young because of illnesses. Why? Because this is generically fabricated by the elements of trying to control the population, and that's why more younger people are dying. Young people should not be dying. Trust me, there is nothing that is natural that kills a human being. There is none, except old age. Sickness is not natural. It comes by some effect, something that transmutes the natural existence of the humans into something else that their body cannot handle. What about accident? It's something that comes from the external force. The only thing that kills any animal or any plant are a natural disaster, or otherwise natural causes, which could be natural disaster or old age. And most of the time it's old age, because how many places do natural disaster that can cause death occur? At least you can count all of them. So why is the childbirth going down, and who is responsible? And this question is disturbing a lot of people, including me. And there is one person that I think should be held responsible, the person who decided to tell the woman that having a child is a mistake, especially while they are young. When you talk to most older women, they'll tell you, I wish I had a son, I wish I had a daughter while I was young. You'll talk to men who are old and they didn't have like 4 or 5 children. They're like, I only had 2 sons, I wish I had 5. There is a problem. And the problem is not that there is no child, but the problem is that they're realizing that they ought to have done it while they were younger. But when they're younger, they're now being forced into this situation whereby if they don't provide value, and that value is in the job marketplace, it's you have to go to work, sit behind some computer desk and impress some boss who doesn't come to work anyway. He's just flexing in some super yacht. And if you don't do that, you don't have a secured future. And so this fear has been instilled, and now they've rolled out series of birth control. They started with these pills, morning pills, whatever the type of pills. There are a billion ways of birth control, and right now even the children that have been formed, they are killing them intentionally by trying to legalize, or not even trying to, by forcing these governments to allow or otherwise enforce these acts like abortion forcefully. And now they're going to the extent of giving people fake vaccines that will going to reduce their viability of trying to fight diseases. And so the population is running down and the childbirth is being fought. And right now they're pushing these LGBTQ and transitioning type of things. These things are all aimed at one thing: controlling the population. It's not about that, you know, we are being accepted. Gays have ever existed. From the Bible era, gays have existed. Transgenders exist naturally. They are not created. Homosexuality has always been there. It will always be there. Prostitution has been there. It will always be there. But the fact that these things are being promoted and being pitched in such a way that there is a lot of anger being generated from them, in the essence that they want to do by all means possible to make sure that these things are normalized, despite their essence that they can never be normalized, to fight population. They're going to the extent of giving free food that has been intoxicated every single day, and we see it happen, and there is nothing we can do except one: just give birth. Because the reason why the problem of the world today is low population. There was a time Elon Musk was doing an interview and he talked about this, that the world's problem is not overpopulation, it's that we have too much resources that we can really utilize because our population is little. The internet is too big, real estate has busted because there is nobody to take charge of these resources, and that's why they are falling in. People are falling just because there is a small percentage of people who want to control the population and reduce it as effective as they could. How I wish you will wake up and do something as easy as just let the child come.